She's always there.
Hello and welcome to the International Wealth Builders Radio Show with your host, Dr. Sharon Barnes. I am Dr. Barnes, founder of ADU Advantage, where we help you bring your ADU dreams to a reality by providing education, consulting, and resources. Today we have in our studio with us Todd Bear. I'm so honored to have him. Last time we were in the studio together, he was hosting and I was a guest. So we see how time changes with entrepreneurship and business development, and we're excited to catch up with him. Since Todd has been in the industry, he's been involved in hundreds of real estate deals, and he founded with his partner Stephen McKee, one of the largest investment clubs in the country, the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. That's where I met him. Well, I think we crossed paths in the real estate industry generally, but we really got connected in the real estate club, and it was a wealth of knowledge. I mean, the core of the network that I've been able to develop started with Todd and Steve and the Real Estate Investment Club, and I'm so grateful. Can never pay them back for launching this part of my career. So I'm happy to have you today.
Thanks for having me, Sharon. I appreciate you bringing me on.
Yes, yes, yes. So today we're going to be talking again about ADUs, but Mr. Bear here, like I said, with his expertise in the ADU industry, he is one of the sought out professionals based on for his expertise across the country, and he has a lot of things to share with us. One particular little area that I'm interested in him explaining to us is tiny homes versus ADUs. I know that I practiced law for over 25 years, and I know it's the attorney in me, but words matter. And the accessory dwelling unit in the real estate market now, people are referring to them as granny flats, casitas, tiny homes. I mean, all those different acronyms have meanings. Okay, when it comes legally, they are a little different, and so the accessory dwelling units, based on the laws that's been evolving since 2017, they're not your backyard ADU from your grandparents. The tiny home nation is different than the accessory dwelling unit. So we're going to talk about that today with Mr. Bear, but I'm going to give him an opportunity to talk about himself, tell us a little bit of his evolution in the real estate industry, especially coming through the investment club and founding the Back Porch Homes with his partner, Steve McGee. And I'm just excited to have an interesting conversation today.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I guess for those of you out there who have never heard of me, I got my start in real estate through my mom. She was a real estate appraiser, and basically started out working in her office, making sure that the printer had paper in it and ink, to make sure that all the stuff she printed out came out nice. And over the about 2 years working with her, I just sort of overheard all the conversations she would have with all the different experts that she'd be involved with, because she was a heavy networker, especially around the Moreno Valley real estate market.
Yes, yes.
And she would be bringing in some of the best people that are in the real estate world in Moreno Valley, and I got to meet all these folks and hear what they had to say. So a couple years of being around that every single day, I got the bug to start investing in real estate in 2006, and started going to the auction, the public auction,
Oh,
where they're
okay.
selling off foreclosure homes, and went every single day for 6 months, and never got a deal because all the people there would upbid the houses just so
Wow.
I couldn't get one. They
It was
don't.
personal, huh?
Absolutely. So, one day I'm there, and this has been about 6 months. I'd been showing up every single day with a cashier's checks in hand. You have
Uh-huh.
to be ready to pay for them right there on the spot. And, a couple $100,000 worth of cashier's checks, it's
Right.
a lot of money to be carrying around. But, every day would be go to the bank, get the cashier's checks out, and then go to the thing. And if we didn't buy anything, go back and deposit them back into the account. And, every day. So, went every day for 6 months. And finally,
Wow.
one day I was talking to one of the other buyers there, and I was just saying like, look, come on, man, let me just buy one. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to go work on that house. I'm not
Right.
going to. I'm not going to be here. I'm not a volume buyer like you guys. Let me just get one. So he was like, all right, fine. What are you going to buy today? He shows me his. We kind of compare lists of what we're
Okay.
going to be bidding on. I'm like, he's like, you know what? I don't really want that one because it's a second. And he's like, I'll tell you what. He's like, and I know the other guys aren't bidding on that one. So he's like, I'll place my opening bid because I have to, but he's like, you can just take it for $100 more than that. So that's basically what happened.
So that's again about who you know, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you showed up, and I was going to ask you, were they kind of like keeping you out because you were young? Were they keeping you out? But now
I
it's
don't
like
know.
you showed up, you got to know who the players were, and got some respect because you kept showing up. So
Absolutely.
that was great.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe, but it was actually also my business partner Steven. He
Okay.
he knew the guy pretty well because Steven used to work for Chicago Title,
Right.
and he used to be the guy on the phone that these guys at the auction would be calling,
Okay.
and Steven would be running those title reports really quickly while they're bringing up these houses to see if there's anything on title that might be difficult to work out,
Exactly.
once you buy the home because. Once you buy, you're buying whatever position deed is on that property at the auction. So if you're buying a second position deed, you for sure have a lender above you,
Right.
but you also need to make sure there's no other loans that might possibly be already on title that maybe the lender didn't know about when they got their deed recorded. So, yeah, somebody's on the other end of that call
that's
at the
great.
title company. Yeah.
That's good to know.
And so Steve knew the guy, and Steve was there with me that day, and he helped me
Okay.
kind of with that conversation. So I got to give credit where credit's due. But yeah, we finally bought the house, and the people that were there, they had gotten into drugs pretty bad, and that's really what caused them to lose the home. And they were basically pretty easy to work with. We just said, look, we'll help you guys get out. We gave them some cash to move out, and
Right.
we just said make sure it's cleaned up. You got everything out of here that you don't want, and they moved out within a week. It was pretty easy transition, really. And then we got started on the house, and I knew nothing about nothing about construction at that point, not a thing. I thought that the carpet ran from one room into the next room underneath the wall, So it was pretty bad, my knowledge of real estate. So I remember I was told to go in, and my door guy, he said, yeah, go in and just remove the doors, and then I'll come in and I'll put new doors in. So I went in there and I removed not only the doors, but I removed the door jambs and everything that goes with them. So he comes in the next day. He's like, I can't do it for the price I quoted you because now I have to buy jams and everything. It's a lot bigger job now. He was like, I told you just remove the doors. And I'm like, I did remove the doors, but he didn't care. But so yeah, I worked on that house. I did a lot of it myself. I bought a set of tools and thinking I'm going to become a construction guy. I'm gonna do it. I bought a whole bag of DeWalt tools. And and then I remember I bought a dishwasher at my house.
Right.
And decided I was going to put it in because I'm a handyman now. It took me 4 hours, but in my defense, it did last for like 10 years before we finally replaced it. So, it was a good experience. Learned a lot about it. Had a lot of contractors work on that place, so met a lot of good people, and it went pretty well. Sold the house at a profit. In January of 2007.
That's good to do on your first flip.
Yeah, exactly.
Not all of us are that lucky.
Exactly, yeah. And but got out just before the real estate crash,
Okay.
and so if everybody remembers out there, I mean, the crash in the Inland Empire really started around April 2007,
Right.
because that's when some of the big banks, like the biggest bank at that time, and I don't know why it's escaping me right now. I can't remember the name of it, but they in like
Countrywide one? Or-
it was prior to Countrywide. There was
Okay.
another bank, and they had basically declared bankruptcy. That was
Okay.
and that was kind of the first like major domino to really fall. And yeah, so I mean, the real estate market here in the Inland Empire crashed
Wow.
very
Yeah.
fast. From April 2007. I remember going to an auction again. This was now an REO auction, so there was a lot of real estate owned property, which we hadn't really had in the Inland Empire since like the 90s.
Right.
Was a big REO market. So REO stands for real estate owned, for those folks out there that may not know.
Yes.
So this means they're owned by the bank, and so there's a big auction. They were going to auction off like 500 homes,
Right.
at this big auction. We went to the Marriott in Riverside, downtown Riverside, and we're down there, and every buyer I know is there. Bruce Norris was there. Everybody I know that was a big buyer at that time was in this room.
Right.
And I'm in the front row with my mom and with Steve, and we're up there bidding on stuff. and nobody else is bidding behind us. We're like, are we stupid? You know, why is Bruce Norris not bidding on anything? Come to find out later on, he had a bidder in the audience that was bidding
Okay.
for him because
Okay.
everybody, was looking at Bruce to see what he was
Exactly.
doing. So, but we ended up winning the bid on three houses that day. This is
that's
December
great.
2007, and but come to find out, this was a reserve auction. They didn't let us take the homes. They said, it's still up to the bank to decide if they're going to sell it to you for that price.
Oh, wow.
So we only ended up getting one of those three that we
Okay.
won the bid on. The other two ended up selling for considerably less than that a couple years later. And it's funny because they never called me and asked if I'd offer that again. But we started buying rentals, got into rental property in December 2007 and thought I wanted to become a landlord. And then I ran into this problem where once you get to 10, you can no longer have traditional Fannie Mae mortgages.
Right.
They won't let you have any more than 10. So you either have to find some friends that are willing to let you buy homes in their name, or you got to find other creative financing sources. So I ended up meeting somebody that he was just a guy who had some money. He owned a construction company, and he had some money, and he was like, yeah, I'd love to get into some, real estate deals. So we kind of worked out an arrangement where he would finance them, and I'd, fix them up and do all that good stuff. And then one day I went to a commercial real estate seminar out in Texas and decided I'm going to become a commercial real estate apartment, person now, and found a great apartment up in Adelanto, 99
Oh,
units. We got it under contract. We were in escrow to close. And the day before we were supposed to close escrow, the bank said we're no longer offering that financing, and they pulled it. So we didn't get the deal. And we're sitting at a Denny's up in Adelanto, and we're talking about it like, man, okay, we almost bought this thing. And he's like, well, I still got all this money. I'd love to put it to work. And so he had the idea to come up with a hard money lending company.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, let's talk about that. So we kind of explored some hard money lending options. I stuck my nose in a bunch of stuff and figured out how to do a hard money lending company. And we created his hard money lending company, and we're lending his money out, which we lent out very quickly. And it was very easy to do. I come to find out there's a lot of people that need money.
Yes,
Yeah.
we all need money.
So I was like,
For
wait,
those deals.
yeah, I figured it out. I found out how to invest in real estate the easy way. We did that for a while, but it got to the point where I had all of his money lent out within 3 months of starting the thing. It was
Wow.
that quick, and he had about $4 million. So we had his money out. It was doing great, but I had all these other people coming to me for loans, and I didn't have money to lend them. So I approached him and said, hey, we should raise more money. Do you have any friends, family, anybody that might want to get in on this with you? Because this is doing really well, like
Exactly.
you should. And he said, no, I don't want to involve all that SEC. I don't want to get into capital raise, and all that stuff.
Security exchange
Yeah.
and sophisticated investors
Exactly.
and all that. Yeah.
And so he said, I don't want to do any of that stuff. That's just, that's not me. So he said, no, I just want to keep it us. So I'm like, I'm looking at basically a Rolls Royce's worth of commission, like pass me by. I said we cannot fund to $15 million worth of loans, which was a lot of money in
Right.
commission. That I'm like, okay. So at that point, I'm kind of like, all right, I got to do this on my own. So I started my own hard money lending company,
Wow.
which was Rehab Loan Group. We started that in 2013. And basically had a couple friends that were looking for something to do and brought them in to help me out. And we're doing the loans on that side, trying to raise money, and really got into that world. And then we started the investment club. So it was kind of a very fast transition over the years. But
What an awesome story. And I mean, I'm just sitting here like true entrepreneur. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like showing up every day for 6 months, not getting anything, making connections, then not knowing which way it's going to go, starting with one purpose in mind, seeing that out, other doors opening, and then when other people can't do it, you say, let me do this myself.
Yep,
I just
exactly.
understand. I just love that. I mean, we just need to know that's the kind of grind that we have to be successful entrepreneurs and business owners. So really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
but that's I left you at 2013. But we'll
Okay, we're
talk
gonna
about it.
we're gonna take a break right now, and when we come back, we'll continue with Todd Barrett talking about his journey through real estate. Okay, stay tuned. More exciting information to come.
FireUp Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. FireUp Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. FireUp Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Real Men of Real Estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station, KCAA radio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Are you a real estate investor looking for a new opportunity in one of the top tourist destinations in the world? Look no further. Welcome to Punta Cana. Perla Bahia is a private resort-style community in Punta Cana that consists of modern condos, custom villas, and various commercial amenities. So if you're interested in learning more or joining us on one of our monthly investment tours, don't hesitate to contact me today at 909-494-2280.
Hello, we're back. You're listening to the International Wealth Builders Radio Show with your host, Dr. Sharon Barnes, and today I'm here with Todd Beer from Back Porch Homes, and he was just telling us about some of his entrepreneur journey through the real estate market. And I think we were up to 2013, right about the creation and founding of the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. And so we're going to continue with Todd. We're just going to listen and just enjoy and learn. Take notes. So we're looking at a very successful entrepreneur here based in the Inland Empire. And we're just so proud to have him. And one thing that I try to do as the founder of the ADU Advantage, is to put together resources here in the Inland Empire, particularly counties around us, San Bernardino, Orange County, LA, San Diego. The ADU market is going crazy, but we still have opportunities here in the Inland Empire. That refers to the combined counties of Riverside and San Bernardino. So we're looking for contractors, architects, designers, entrepreneurs, investors that are willing and ready and hopefully even grounded here in the Inland Empire to come together to help our community take advantage of the accessory dwelling unit laws and to help create inventory and generational wealth in the Inland Empire. So, Todd, I'm going to hand it back over to you. I'm just enjoying this journey with you today.
Oh, and I could talk about my background forever. In fact, I used to have a radio show here on KCAA as well.
Exactly. That's how we were together. We were in opposite seats. You were the host, and I was the guest.
There was two different occasions where I had a guest that was supposed to come on, and last minute they had to cancel, and I couldn't get somebody to fill in.
Right.
So I literally did two shows by myself, and I just told my background story for a full hour, because I had nothing else I could do. And I attempted to take calls. I was like, anybody who wants, call in with a question, and occasionally I'd get a call, which was cool. But it was pretty funny. But yeah, so I'll try to make it quick because I know we want to get into some of the ADU stuff. But I guess after starting the loan company, I ended up starting this the real estate investment club with Stephen, and it started off. We rented out at the Mission Inn. We had the Spanish art gallery, big room, one of the big rooms they have there, and put in all this money and put it up on meetup.com.
And that's where I saw it. And I looked at it for several months. I'm like, they got over 200 people in this room. It's at the Mission Inn. I kept seeing all these people that was going and all the comments. And it's like, is that really real? I really have to go see if this is really real. And I walked in, and it was awesome. I mean, that was the best move and the best meeting I could have ever come to and plugged into.
I
So.
appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it didn't start off that way though. You know, the first meeting we did there in the Spanish Art Gallery was to an audience of 4 people. So yeah, definitely not the expectation we had going into it. But you know, we did it again the next month. This was the first one was September 2014. We did the second one in October. We had 15 people show up. Karen Hall was our speaker. You know, it was pretty. It was getting bigger, but then every month it was getting bigger, and it was doubling from 4 people to 15 to 30, and then we did a holiday Christmas party at the Mission Inn, and we found out why we shouldn't do Christmas parties at the Mission Inn. Because they do the Festival of Lights thing,
right?
And nobody that wanted to come to the Christmas party that we set up for could get in. The Mission Inn was like, you have to be a hotel guest to get in. They didn't know about our event, so they weren't letting people in. People couldn't find parking. So we had like 20 people at the Christmas party, and we had like 50 paid RSVPs. So
yeah, 30 upset people.
Yeah, we did, and we had to make 30 refunds. Which, you know, if you're a business owner, refund is like pain. You know, gosh. You know,
especially after you already paid for those plates.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. We gave Mission Inn a bunch of money to put together a little holiday party. You know, and so yeah, we we tried to avoid downtown Riverside around the holidays when we started to do our Christmas parties. So and those got big. You know,
they did.
Gosh, the one we did in like 2019 was massive. I think we spent like $12,000 on that thing. It was crazy, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, we grew that. On Meetup.com, I think we got it to about 5,200 members on Meetup, which was one of the largest real estate investment clubs in the country. And Meetup.com flew Stephen and I out to New York because we were one of the top 150 meetups worldwide.
Wow!
And so we were one of 3 real estate related clubs that were one of the top 150 in the world. And we got to go out there. We got to meet with organizers from all over the world, with like people from Ireland, from Australia, New Zealand. Like there was people that had, and most of them were like outdoorsy clubs, or there was like a dad's club in New York. There was,
you
know, it was stuff like that. So there was only 3 like professional kind of based ones, and we were one of them. So that was really cool.
Oh, what an honor!
Yeah.
I can see it. It was a really good club. It still is a great club.
Still is.
But we miss you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's nothing like the parents that birthed the baby. You know, it's like you hand it over, but nobody's never the parent, you know.
I know.
You and Steve, when you transitioned over to Back Porch Homes, you know, there was a void. It's been filled, but it's still, you know, there's still your baby.
It was tough.
And we still appreciate the seed that you land. The foundation is still going strong. But that's success as well. When you can come together, like you and your partner, and develop a club, and then the club grows over and over, and you get an average of 200 people attending every month.
Yeah.
Okay. And then your entrepreneur business spirit takes you another direction, and you actually have something that you can hand off to someone that they want to take, and that it still thrives. It didn't dissipate.
Not at all.
Because a lot of time as business owners, we don't put systems in place, we don't stick to it, and so when we stop, it stops. Whatever that is. When you actually have an asset that you can hand off, that's really a success story.
Yeah, and we had really focused on getting the club to a place because it was a full-time job. There's no way around it. To run that club, it took a full 40 hours a week to run that thing. So we had Joanna, who was basically doing all the administrative stuff, because just working with the Mission Inn was a full-time job. Jeez, we love the Mission Inn, great people over there, but we did go through about 3 different full staff changes of their catering department, and it was, so just working with them sometimes was painful because we had very particular layouts and things like that we wanted to stick to. But it was tricky. And then COVID hit, and we took the thing online. And Stephen and I just were like, the soul is not here. We just cannot do this. It's just painful to have to do these things on Zoom. Yeah. It's a social group. It's everybody there is a networker, and it's hard to network over Zoom. It's just and the soul was gone, and we just didn't really want to do it anymore. We were already tired as it was. We just launched a company that really could have done better if COVID didn't show up. And so for us, it was really tough to do it on Zoom. And Rich was there, Rich Rice, and
he's done an excellent job.
Yeah, and we were like, hey, we'd love to just kind of be a step away from this. And so he said he'll take it. So we handed it to Rich, and Rich has done a fantastic job.
Yes, he has.
I mean, the club, I just went to it last week on Wednesday. They had the big meeting at the Mission Inn. great event.
Yes.
I mean, he's turned it into like just a networking thing.
Right.
We used to do kind of a presentation, but
Right.
you know, he's done a fantastic job with it. It's still going very strong. I still think of it as probably the best single thing you could do in the Inland Empire for
And
real
I
estate.
agree, and I'm still active in that group, and I think it is, and I think that it's still the foundation that we all feel connected because, again, as I said earlier, the core of the network, the caliber of people that I met, come from that group. I mean,
Yeah.
it just really started, what I said, like everybody's not as successful as you on their first flip, and I came in and we were doing this flip with my partner and I, and we needed some bridge capital in the middle because some unexpected leaks and HOA stuff came up, and I was able to go to the Real Estate Investment Club and meet somebody who trusted me.
Yeah.
Okay, to say here's this $15,000 you need.
Absolutely.
Okay, if I wasn't been in that room networking and making those relationships, you never know who you have met until you need them.
Yeah.
And then for that to come, it's just awesome. So.
And it's funny too because in that room you have no idea who's got the money in there.
Exactly.
You know, the person that looks like the homeless guy that wandered in, he's probably the one with the most money, which is the funniest thing.
Yeah, and I would look around the room because I mean I did like the answer when you had the meeting and we would have the different color stickers, whether you were a service provider, you had a deal, you needed money, or you had money for the deal.
Yep.
And then you were, when you break off from the networking, would ask, raise your hand if you're looking for money or if you have money for a deal. And I looked at those people who didn't raise their hand. Those were the richest people in the room.
Yeah.
They looked away. I'm not raising my hand. I don't want all y'all little greedy people coming over to me.
Yep.
But those are the people you need to network with. The
Absolutely.
ones that's looking down like, I don't need nothing. I don't even know what y'all talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, there was definitely some people with a lot of money in that room. That,
Exactly.
Yeah, would prefer not everybody in the room knew about that.
Exactly.
But yeah, the green
exactly.
stickers were good. That was one of my many contributions to the club was to have these colored stickers so
Right.
you knew what everybody was
and
there
green
for.
with the money.
Yeah, looking for those green stickers, yeah. And we were looking for them too. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't have all the money in the world,
Yeah.
so we would partner up with lots of people in that
Yeah.
room to do stuff. I mean,
And it made it very nice to partner because if you had a deal and you were looking for financing and people were looking for deals, to
Yep.
make that connection because we had that visible, identifier that this person might be interested in what I have
Absolutely.
or learn what type of investments they're looking for, whether it's multifamily, commercial,
Mhm.
or, buy and hold or whatever. So, yeah, it was really interesting.
But yeah, as we're doing this club, and we're flipping a lot of houses. We had a lot of flips going, at
Right.
that time, and we were doing, at any one time we would have about 20, 25 homes. So
Yeah.
it was a pretty busy time for us too. So trying to run the club and all this stuff, it was massive.
And the mentorship you had under the club too.
Yeah,
that
we
was
did.
awesome for people who were able to take advantage of that.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
it was
accelerator
really-
program.
Yes,
Oh
yeah.
man, that was, and some of the people that came from the accelerator program are now doing fantastic.
Exactly.
So it was really cool, and it's cool too just to see like from a mentor sort of perspective to see these
Exactly.
people that came in as a completely
Yep.
new person,
Yep.
knowing nothing about real estate, and now all of a sudden I see these people, I meet with them frequently, and they're out there
Yep.
killing it. They're doing
Exactly.
fantastic. So
Exactly.
it's cool just to see that, and I never really realized what it would be like to be a mentor to somebody, but
Yeah.
it's pretty
And
amazing.
you mentor me in it, like myself, because I mean I came in, I'm a licensed realtor and knew the traditional real estate. But the club taught me the investor side,
Right.
and that is a fork in the road that a true realtor who wants to work with an investor has to understand because not all the rules of traditional buy and sell real estate applies when you're dealing with an investor.
Absolutely.
And it's not doing anything illegal. It's just a different way
Sure.
of flow at different things they look for. And if you want to work with investors, you really have to open your mind and your eyes and learn
Yeah.
about the real estate investment side.
Absolutely, and the best realtors out there, they're the ones that know all the different ways to do it. I mean, most
Exactly.
realtors only know one way to buy a house, and that's where a lender comes in and they do a traditional mortgage. And
Yeah,
most people out
exactly.
there have bought their homes this way, but there's 1,000 different ways to buy a home, and that's
Exactly.
if you have a realtor that only knows one of those ways,
Yeah.
they're not the one to go to if you got some kind of a creative idea in mind. So
Exactly.
um,
All right, we're going to go to our next break here. Time is just zipping by, and me and Todd are just catching up like old friends. But we'll be back, and we're going to start talking about accessory dwelling units and tiny homes versus accessory dwelling units. So stay tuned. Come back. This is Dr. Sharon Barnes with the ADU Advantage and the International Wealth Builders Radio Show. See you in a minute.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Real men of real estate.
Men of Real Estate Radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station KCAA radio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Are you a real estate investor looking for a new opportunity in one of the top tourist destinations in the world? Look no further. Welcome to Punta Cana. Perla Bahia is a private resort-style community in Punta Cana that consists of modern condos, custom villas, and various commercial amenities. So if you're interested in learning more or joining us on one of our monthly investment tours, don't hesitate to contact me today at 909-494-2280.
We're back. Thanks for sticking with us. We're here with Todd Beer, and we're talking real estate, just going through that real estate journey with him. And we left off talking about the Inland Empire Real Estate Club and what a value it's been to thousands of people over the years. And Todd and his partner Steve had to step away, and they founded the Back Porch Homes. And I'm going to have him talk about that and give us some little education on challenges, tips, things we need to know, especially we're trying to do accessory dwelling units in the Inland Empire.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we doing the club, and then we kind of got into this thing. So we're looking at, other opportunities. What's coming up in California? What's the big deal? What's happening? And so if you want to build a home in California, or if you want to build a tract of homes in California, gosh, you're looking at minimum like 3 years, minimum, to even like start digging the dirt, and during this process, you go through this CEQA process, which is basically a time for everybody and their mother to come and sue you and sue the project. So it's a huge bottleneck in California. So the reason why we haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of like new construction projects going on is because of this CEQA process. It takes many years to get through. And so it really slows things down. But the only way to really solve the affordable housing problem in California is to add more homes. We need more units. That's the only way we can solve it. It's either that or kick people out of the state, which isn't going to happen because we got the sunshine.
A lot of people say they're leaving anyway, but we still got a lot that needs housings.
Yeah, and so we got the sunshine, and if you're going to be homeless, why not California? So. I mean, that's what I'd choose. I'd probably move down to like San Diego though and get away from this heat. But yeah, so it's we need more housing units, and the only way to do it is, from what I can tell, accessory dwelling units. And California opened it up. California opened up the floodgates where now you can convert your existing home. You can add a junior ADU to your existing footprint of your home, which can include your garage. And you can add an exterior or another accessory dwelling unit. So you can basically convert your single-family home into a 3-unit home.
Exactly. And
in most places, you can rent those other 2 or all 3. It really doesn't matter, So this has upset a lot of people in the state. There's a lot of people, the NIMBYs, we like to call them, the not in my backyard folk.
But that was one of the reasons before the state to take over, because every little community that had protests against not in my backyard or
Sure.
don't build it here, they had to go and make this umbrella.
Yep.
But people still don't want to adhere. So
Yeah, and it's funny because you have people that'll complain on one side of their mouth. We have this huge homeless problem, and we
Right.
do. And then on the other side of their mouth, they'll say, "But I don't want anybody moving into my yard." So when you have a single mother out there that has a
Exactly.
job and she works full time, the only thing she can really afford is a house, or an apartment in the worst part of town.
Exactly.
And this isn't a bad person, but the thing is, the person that would normally be living in that worst part of town would be somebody of a lower income, and
right.
those people are now homeless,
Right.
so the people that just literally couldn't afford to even move in there because those apartment rents have gone crazy high, and in the worst parts of town, you'd be surprised what some of these rents are right now. I'm like, how are
Exactly.
people affording $1,700
Exactly.
for a little studio apartment? I don't understand. So, and there's not much in the way of government assistance for these types of things, which probably should have been introduced as well. And I know
Right.
there's a lot of people that don't want that, and there's,
Yeah.
but the reality
They
is,
stereotype is like even with the Section 8, they open it up. People have been on waiting lists for like 4, 5, 6 years. They open it up. People got their vouchers, and then you had landlords who didn't want to accept them.
Yep.
Because in their mind, Section 8 is a certain type of person or
Sure.
whatever, or won't take pride in my home. But Section 8 is also retired seniors.
Yeah.
It's single parents. It is people who just need a decent place to live.
Yep.
And then we have people that are. I remember I was practicing law when I heard the term working poor. And I'm like, they were saying they were collecting the Christmas gifts for the working poor. And I'm like, working poor? And like, yeah, I mean, it's people that are working 2 or 3 jobs to take care of their family and still can't barely make ends meet.
Yeah.
And so the accessory dwelling units, I think, are great for that. And then we just have to open our mind and not be so stereotypical.
Absolutely. And the thing is, there's many people out there, they just want a good place to live, and they're not going to be a
Exactly.
nuisance or anything like that. They just need a place to live. They're going to be home in the evenings, and they're going to be at work during the day, and there's a lot of people, I think, that are very closed off to the idea of having somebody, a stranger, living in their backyard or something. But, you're going to be helping somebody out,
Right.
that because they're not building starter homes anymore.
Right.
If you go to a new tract development, and there are some out there, there's no homes out there that are under 1,000 square feet.
Right.
It's just impossible in California to build a home under 1,000 square feet and have it make sense for the builder. If anything, they'd be building it as a loss leader to bring people in, but they're not doing it. And most new tract developments aren't building single stories either. They're building 2-story homes, and 2-story homes don't tend to have a downstairs bedroom. So
Exactly.
if you now have an aging parent or something, and you want them to come move in with you because they can't move up and down the stairs in their own home, so you're going to move them in. Well, if you don't have a downstairs bedroom, where are you putting them?
Exactly.
You got to put in one of those goofy stair elevator things, those little seats you can ride up.
Ride up and stuff. Yeah.
You
And,
know?
I've talked to hundreds of homeowners here over the last 6 months or so, and a good number of people, I would say out the ones I talked to, about 60% are building or interested in accessory dwelling units for their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though you don't want a stranger in your backyard, you can get your parents in your backyard.
Yeah.
And then wherever they're living, whether it's an apartment or selling a house and coming to stay with you, that's opening up another unit of housing. And,
Yeah.
so we need to think about that. The other 25% or so are building for adult kids.
Yep.
Because COVID changed a lot of things. People aren't going away to college the way they were. The housing is still very expensive, and the accessory dwelling unit is a way to level the playing field and to, I had one client over in Rancho, and she was saying he can't go out into the world. He can't afford it right now, but he can go into the backyard, okay?
Right. Yeah.
And then we're going to collect rent from him, and we're going to save it up, help him buy a house, and his brother's going in the backyard.
Yeah.
So you can get your own strategy going, but
Sure.
it is a way to free up inventory and create some income for families.
Yeah, and then at some point, maybe the youngest child might move out, and now you can move somebody in that might become a paying tenant. And
Exactly.
who knows, maybe they're a local college student or a single mother or something like
Yep.
that. And there's a lot of opportunities out there, and who doesn't want a little extra money, in their pocket to help pay their own mortgage?
Exactly.
So it's the idea of an ADU is a great idea. It's for anybody out there, I think it's a fantastic thing if you got the space for it. And in the Inland Empire, there's over 300,000 lots basically that can accommodate an ADU that have the space for them. So, there's plenty of people out there that need them, and we recognize that, and so that's kind of what prompted us to start Back Porch Homes, and we started under this concept of we were going to build tiny homes as ADUs, and a tiny home. For the legal definition, because I'm talking to Dr. Sharon Barnes, I'm not just talking to anybody here. The legal definition is it's under 400 square feet, and it would fit on a standard Department of Transportation maximum is 40 feet by 8.5 feet. That's the biggest you could possibly make it, because it fits on a standard trailer chassis that would be roadworthy. So we have one of those. We have a home that's 40 by 8.5 feet. It's 270 square feet.
Beautiful homes. I've toured them. They're great.
And they are. They're fantastic. And the way that everything was going prior to COVID, all the cities and and even the state of California was looking at approving these as becoming a habitable, permanent backyard accessory dwelling unit. They were looking to go that direction. But once COVID hit, all that stuff, all those talks kind of went off the table, and they really haven't picked them up to the same degree they were talking about them before. And that kind of changed. It forced us to really change our business model, because the whole purpose was to build these as ADUs. And since we couldn't put them in a backyard, and we tried like in a couple different cities locally, Redlands, Bloomington, Riverside. We tried a bunch of different places, and didn't work out. So we did find out what does work, because we like the idea of building in a factory, because we can build them fast. It only takes us 10 working days to build a home.
Wow.
So I don't know if anybody out there's ever built a home before, but if you build one on site, you're looking at a few months probably just for construction, and that's you're not even including the permit time that it takes for your contractor and your architect and all these people to get involved. Minimum right now to get a home built, you're looking at like 18 months. And that's pretty standard for the course,
right?
For a traditional stick-built home, But with us, we can build them in a factory, and it takes us 10 days to build them once we start them on our production line. And the permits currently in California is a maximum of 60 days.
Are they adhering to that? Because for a stick build, it doesn't seem like they're doing that. Okay.
It doesn't matter if they're adhering to it or not. It's the state overlay. And there's sort of this concept, and, probably shouldn't say it on the radio, but I'm gonna. It's the, just beg for forgiveness kind of attitude. There's a lot of people I know who are just starting these projects because they hadn't gotten their approval. It's past the 60 days, and they're just starting. And they're like, we're going to beg for forgiveness instead of ask for permission, because we're within what the state law is right now. And so, and it's the Wild West. You have, they've just extended it, I think, until 2030 now, where you can do this, and all these 60-day rules are still in place.
Okay.
So if you've got the space, the maximum setback is 4 feet all on the three sides. You just can't have it within, I think it's 25 feet from the front property line. And you can put these in. So we're building, and effectively, it's a manufactured home. If you look at the actual code of regulations, what we're building is a manufactured home. And it's, but we build them better than a traditional home. We build them to be able to be driven down the road, so they have to be sturdy. It's designed to withstand an earthquake and a hurricane at the same time, because if you're driving this thing in a windy rain and it's going down the highway, it's going through an earthquake and a hurricane all at the same time. So they're meant to last that, and then you put them on a permanent foundation in your backyard. It becomes your second unit. So that's really how we're doing it now, and it's the fastest way to get an ADU in your property.
And they built to the standard building code, or a little bit different manufactured?
Manufactured housing is built to a different code. Traditional housing is built under Title 24,
right?
And then manufactured homes are built under Title 25. Right. So it's two different codes, but HUD is who sets the Title 25 standard. It's a federal standard, and it's based upon, standard building practices, and there are some things that you can change in there that make them, a little less quality than a traditional home, but we build ours like a regular home, 2x4 construction, 16 on center, that kind of stuff. So ours are built always to the highest degree we can, and we're probably the only manufacturer that will always build it to the highest standard we can, because we want to build quality products. We don't want to build something that's going to, become tornado bait or something like that,
Of course.
But we, so you build these homes, and you can get them in there. If you don't have room to move it on the side, there's cranes that can come in, and they'll just, move it over. And it's funny because you won't have a house there one day, and you'll have 3 days later you got a fully set up house that's.
Wow, and it's awesome. I remember I was working with one client over in Rialto, and they had a small lot, and they wanted to put a pool there, and they described this rectangular space they wanted inside and what they wanted. And it's like, I need to take you back porch homes. They got exactly, and they were able to go right in San Bernardino and go to the factory, talk, see them, the production line, see some of the models, talk to the people working there. It was just really awesome. So
Yeah.
you're changing that model a little bit?
Yeah, we'll be changing. We have always different models coming out, as we get feedback from the market. But yeah, we always have new stuff.
Okay. So when we come back, we're going to wrap up our last section, and we're going to talk to Todd about what he's doing, how to get in contact with him, and what we can look from him and his partner here in the near future. See you in a few minutes. Stick with us. Thank you.
Fire Up Connect is the most innovative business networking group, supporting and collaborating with a dozen of small businesses that are interested in building and establishing strong business connections, hosting educational live seminars while carrying out business and community-driven projects, as well as marketing programs as a part of its membership program. Fire Up Connect also offers virtual assistance with a wide range of services including inbound customer support, chat support, appointment setting and email management, graphic designing, video editing, web design and development, social media marketing, e-commerce solution, content writing and much more. For more information, head on over to www.fireupconnect.com. Fire Up Connect, helping success stories unfold every day.
Real men of real estate.
Men of Real Estate radio show here on KCAA.
Boats, mortgages can be purchased.
All of us want to live in thriving communities.
Basically, go to the radio station KCAA radio.com.
You can find us on your dial at 102.3 FM, 1050 AM, as well as 106.5 FM.
Are you a real estate investor looking for a new opportunity in one of the top tourist destinations in the world? Look no further. Welcome to Punta Cana. Perla Bahia is a private resort-style community in Punta Cana that consists of modern condos, custom villas, and various commercial amenities. So if you're interested in learning more or joining us on one of our monthly investment tours, don't hesitate to contact me today at 909-494-2280.
Paulson's a contractor. Okay, we're back, winding up the show with Todd Bear from Back Porch Homes, and so we're going to have Todd just give us some closing remarks and how we can contact you and what we can look for in the future here.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's funny because when we got started in this whole thing, we wanted to be able to sell directly to the public because, the public is who buys these things.
Exactly.
But come to find out, there are some things in place in the industry. So when you buy them, they have to go through a dealer, and we're not a dealer. We don't want to get into that because it is a whole nother business. So right now we are a manufacturer. So we build the homes. And then you have to go through a dealer. We have a ton of dealers, so you can call us and we'll get you directed to who can get you fixed up. And some dealers are better at doing ADUs than others. This is still a very new market.
Yes.
And for people out there that are looking for an opportunity, the ADU market is a huge, wide open market that is ready for people. Trust me.
Yes, at all levels.
At all levels. And this is something we're going to be pushing and we're going to be promoting over the coming years as well, because it's just a massive void in this industry on, like you said, we need contractors, we need drafters, we need,
more
salespeople, consultants,
Yeah.
people. I mean, you need so many different people in this industry to be able to make this work, and it's coming. It's coming. But for right now,
Go ahead.
For right now, if people want to get an ADU in their backyard, you would talk to somebody like Sharon. Sharon will get you fixed up with all the information you need, and she can look at your property, tell you what can even go there, because I know I've looked at some strange looking lots,
Exactly.
I've looked at this wedge shaped thing with this little squiggly, I'm like, I don't know how this lot even got drawn, but okay. It's, but every place has kind of a thing you can put there, and there's some really good software now that helps out with that.
Yeah,
I know you introduced me to some a while back.
Yeah, and I'm still using it so we can actually pull up property and put the ADU floor plan on their backyard and get some basic feasibility questions out the way so they can know which way to go, manufactured, stick build, or what suits their property.
Yep, exactly. And sometimes stick build is the best option. I'm not going to say that our option is a one size fits all. It's it fits a lot of options, but sometimes stick build is the only way you can really go. And that's what people like Sharon are around for, is to tell you which way is the best way to go. And
to get started here.
Plus to work it within your budget. And some people might have certain design needs, and we're a factory, so we don't build everything custom. Everything we build they're based upon floor plans and models. And if you want to be the only one in the world with this particular thing, we're not going to be the one to build it for you. We build stuff that it might be identical to something that's in a neighboring city. So and that's just the way manufacturing works. If that were the case, then everybody would have a different looking iPhone.
Yeah, exactly.
But
what's the best way to get in contact with you?
So if for anybody that might be interested, we don't have everything up on the website yet because some of this stuff we do prefer to push through our dealers. But you can go to backporchhomes.com and check out our website. There are some models up there. We have some of our park models, which is also sort of like cabins for RV parks. Another big market that's out there.
Yes.
We're not here to talk about those today, but park models are a very cool thing.
And there is a difference, what you have to learn. There's park models, and then there's, the ADU models that go on residential property.
Yep, yeah, and you'll hear a lot of terms thrown out there. You'll hear modular, stick-built, you'll hear tiny home, you'll hear park model, you'll hear manufactured home, double wide, single wide. All these things are different things, and
exactly.
And container homes. Forgot about container homes.
Yeah.
Another nightmare in the industry.
Or 3Ds, 3D homes.
Oh, yeah, 3D printed home. Yeah. Oh gosh, there's so many out there.
Say Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West. But it's cool. Any innovation in housing, I'm excited about because we need housing. We are 1.2 million units short in this state. Yeah. We need so many more houses.
Exactly.
And us as a manufacturer, I can build 2,000 homes a year out of our plant in Riverside. That's not going to make a dent in the 1.2 million. I'm sorry. Right. I need more people. I need more manufacturers.
Exactly.
We need investment in California for this kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, if anybody wants to get in touch with us, go to backporchhomes.com, check out some of our models, and if you got some questions, call our sales team. Our number is 951-394-1844. And then you can talk to our sales staff, and they'll get you all fixed up with, a dealer and schedule a factory tour and all that good stuff. Plus, tomorrow we're hosting a car show. If anybody wants to come out and check it out, we have a big car show at our plant in Riverside at 1400 Marlboro Avenue in Riverside from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So if anybody wants to come out and check out some custom cars and see some of our homes, we'll be hosting that as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Todd. This has been great. Thank you. This is Dr. Sharon Barnes, and I thank you for sticking with me and checking out the show today. Next month, we will have Terrence McCarthy, the loan guy, here on the show. And I also want to let you know that I am at the ADU Advantage is also a provider under CalHalfa for that $40,000 grant that's available for ADU. So reach out to me, connect me on Facebook under ADU Advantage, LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel, or you can call me at 909-652-1409. That's 909-652-1409. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'll see you next month. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.